Competition that makes moments like Sunday possible. And obviously, I got to give a special shout out to Denny. Nobody in the sport works harder or expects more of themselves. Year after year, he raises the bar and pushes his competitors to be better. He holds himself to a true championship standard, and I think everyone in this room has a ton of respect for that.
Denny Hamlin's heartbreaking finish to the 2025 championship run didn't fade after the checkered flag. It followed him straight back to Joe Gibbs Racing. A weekend that looked like his best chance in years suddenly slipped away, and now the fallout is hard to ignore. When everything seems lined up for a title and the result still falls apart, it raises real concerns inside any organization. And right now, many are asking who or what is responsible for a loss this big. It all started with high expectations. Hamlin was the favorite. He came to Phoenix with the fastest car, a pole-winning qualifying run, and the kind of playoff momentum that screamed, "This is finally the year." After nearly 2 decades of near misses, this was supposed to be his crowning moment. The stats were all there: over 60 career wins, Hall of Fame credentials, and unmatched preparation. Everything was lined up perfectly. Right from the green flag, Hamlin was in control. He led over 140 laps, more than anyone else, and his pace was unmatched. Even a mid-race clutch pedal issue didn't slow him down. Crew chief Chris Gabehart had the 11 car dialed in, and Hamlin was slicing through the field with surgical precision. Fans, analysts, and competitors alike started to sense it. This was going to be his night. But then, with just 4 laps to go, William Byron's crash triggered a caution, and in that moment, everything changed. Hamlin's dominant lead was wiped out the entire race, and the championship would now hinge on one final pit decision. Take 2 tires for track position or 4 for grip. Hamlin's crew chose 4, Larson's crew chose 2. And just like that, the championship slipped through Hamlin's fingers. Larson pulled off a textbook restart, held his position, and held off the field. Hamlin, stuck in traffic, never had a chance to make the most of his fresher tires. In a 2-lap shootout, track position was king. And for the second time in his career, Hamlin watched the trophy get handed to someone else after he dominated most of the race. After the checkered flag, the silence around Hamlin said it all. He sat in his car, motionless. When he finally climbed out, there were no celebrations, just handshakes, hugs, and blank stares. Joe Gibbs approached him, but what could he say? Sometimes there are no words. In the press conference, Hamlin was brutally honest. You can do everything right, and sometimes it still doesn't matter. He's not wrong. NASCAR is cruel. The best car doesn't always win. And this was one of those nights. But behind the scenes, Joe Gibbs Racing isn't taking this loss lightly. Sources inside the organization have hinted at a comprehensive internal review of how the Phoenix finale was handled. While no one is publicly throwing blame, it's clear the decision to go with 4 tires instead of 2 is under the microscope. There's a growing sense that Gibbs expected better, and that's where the pressure mounts. Because Hamlin isn't just a driver anymore. He's also co-owner of 23XI Racing. He's managing legal issues related to the charter system. He's splitting his time between boardrooms and pit boxes. And while none of that excuses what happened at Phoenix, it all adds to the complexity of his role. At some point, JGR has to ask, is Hamlin stretched too thin? Kyle Larson praised Hamlin's work ethic, saying, "Nobody in the sport works harder or expects more of themselves. But even that level of dedication has limits, and now, with another title opportunity gone, the whispers are growing louder." Has Joe Gibbs Racing lost confidence in its longest-tenured driver? Larson's success only makes the question sharper. While Hamlin dominated Phoenix, Larson dominated the season. He had the most top 10s, one of the best average finishes, and under the old-school points format, he'd have already been champion before the final race. That matters, because in the eyes of sponsors and executives, consistency and results speak louder than heartbreak. Larson's title run is a model of modern NASCAR: fast, smart, and bold under pressure. His 2-tire call wasn't just lucky, it was calculated, and that kind of strategic clarity is exactly what Joe Gibbs Racing lacked in the most important moment of the season. So now, the conversations inside the team are shifting. Is it time for new leadership in the 11 camp? Should Hamlin refocus purely on driving? Is the dual role of driver-owner becoming a liability? These aren't easy questions, but they're real ones. Gibbs has made tough calls before. He's shuffled crew chiefs. He's ended long-standing partnerships when performance dipped. And while no one's suggesting Hamlin is getting cut, the message is clear. Results matter, and when the championship is on the line, second place isn't good enough. The comparison to Carl Edwards in 2016 is painful but fitting. Edwards had the best car, led the race late, and a late restart cost him the title. He never got another shot. Hamlin's situation feels eerily similar. He's running out of chances. Hamlin still has one more year on his JGR contract. And yes, he's still elite. He's still a contender. But the expectations heading into 2026 will be sky high. The team will want more than good speed and good stats. They'll want the big trophy. And if it doesn't come, don't be surprised if Gibbs starts thinking about a future beyond Denny Hamlin. What happened at Phoenix wasn't just a loss, it was a statement, a turning point. And Joe Gibbs Racing, like every great organization, is already looking ahead. The hammer hasn't dropped publicly. But behind closed doors, the pressure is real. And for Hamlin, the path forward just got a lot more intense. Adding further to the internal pressure is the fact that Joe Gibbs Racing has a pipeline of emerging talent. Young drivers in the Toyota development program are eager for their shot at the Cup Series, and Gibbs is known for making bold decisions when the time is right. If Hamlin's performance falters early in 2026, those calls for change could grow louder. Sponsorship, too, plays a major role in these decisions. While Hamlin's longtime partners have stood by him, companies investing millions want return: on-screen time, wins, playoff visibility, and most importantly, championship exposure. The 2025 loss was a high-profile miss that could affect those partnerships if another year goes by without a title. And let's not forget the psychological toll. Hamlin has been open in the past about how deeply these losses affect him. Being so close, so often, wears down even the toughest athletes. The post-race image of him slumped in his car, processing the loss, will be burned into NASCAR memory for years. At some point, the heartbreak turns into hesitation, and hesitation kills titles. From a technical standpoint, JGR has the resources to win. The question is no longer about equipment or engineering, it's about execution under pressure. That last restart wasn't lost in the garage, it was lost on the box. And that's why the team is reportedly reviewing every detail. Tire wear simulations, pit timing, track position analysis. Because in modern NASCAR, championship windows don't stay open forever. So now it's all eyes on 2026. Will Hamlin and the 11 team rise from the ashes, or will this be remembered as the moment everything began to fade? One thing's certain, Joe Gibbs Racing has made it clear through its silence and intensity that next season is make or break. For Hamlin, the fight for legacy is officially in overtime. Let us know what you think. Should JGR have handled the pit call differently? Can Hamlin still win a title, or is it time for Joe Gibbs Racing to make a change? Sound off in the comments and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next in this ongoing NASCAR drama.